Welcome to Capital Update with State Representative Bev Scalze. I'm Charlie Vanderarty. Welcome to the show, Representative.
Great to see you again, Charlie.
I know you're working on a lot of issues with your colleagues on both sides of the aisle, but you're also, people may not know, co-chair of the Suburban Caucus. What does that mean?
Well, the DFL has a Suburban Caucus because we have discovered that in all the representatives of the state, a third are suburban, a third are inner city, and a third are rural.
Okay.
And the rural have needs that they're very vocal with what their needs. The inner city is very vocal, and the suburbs for so many years haven't really said too much about what their needs are. We just kind of pay for everything. We pay for a lot of things out of the suburbs, you know. And we decided, 3-4 years ago to put together a little Suburban Caucus. And I was chair of it one year. And then this year, since the House and the Senate are both of the minority party, Democrats, and we're all in the state office building, now we've expanded it to a bicameral Suburban Caucus for DFLers,
okay,
which means House and Senate. That's what bicameral means. And I'm the co-chair of it this year. I represent the House legislators, and then Terry Bonoff of Plymouth represents the Senate legislators, Suburbans. And we have different needs than other people in the state. And I was just talking this morning with some people because for so many years, the inner city, when they had stuff they wanted to dump and didn't know where to put it, they would put it in places that weren't heavily populated, and that was the suburbs. So that's one thing that we do have to face now. There's a lot of old dump sites in the suburbs, whether they be in Vadnais Heights or in Matamidi or Woodbury. You read about them in the newspaper. And so we're dealing with this today. But right now, since it's such a rush time of the year, we invited the governor to come and meet with us, and he did last Tuesday. So we were very honored that the governor would come and meet with us. And we had done our work and prepared for him some items of things that are important to suburban people. One is E12 schools not raising the property taxes and maybe using a location equity index, because in the suburbs, we pay more in property taxes in proportion to our income than they do in outstate Minnesota. Okay. It's very important to the suburbs. Metro parks is another important area for us because most of the suburbs don't have the large parks like the inner city parks. We want to make sure that parks like Como Zoo in the Como area, 3 million visitors there. People donate $1 million in donations, but we want to make sure that the state does its share of funding. That's our state parks in the suburban area. Also, transit and transportation. We don't want to rely too much on property taxes because that's very onerous. We want to make sure that some of the legacy funds, the 0.3% that everybody voted for in 2008, that some of that money goes to the suburbs as well as outstate Minnesota, because this is a clean water legacy bill that we passed, and we have some very polluted waters in the suburban area. I have 15 water bodies in my district, and we have a high form of pollution, maybe because we have so many wide lanes of asphalt. So there's a lot of pollution in our metro lakes. We want to make sure the suburban area has our voice heard, and we want to make sure that the governor hears what we feel and takes that into his negotiations process.
No, that sounds very interesting. And I know you're looking to be a responsible steward for taxpayer dollars, especially from constituents in your area. And one proposal you recently introduced got you some attention, and that was talking about the Metrodome and looking at use of that after maybe some of the professional sports teams have left. What is that proposal?
Well, the Vikings have said that they really don't need a roof over a stadium. They would be happy with the open-air stadium, and they would like to have parking. Well, here we've got this Metrodome sitting right on a light rail transit line, so people can get there inexpensively. People use it all year round. There's 300 events, and inline skaters and joggers. If the Vikings are no longer a tenant or an NFL team, we should look at constructing a task force to look at how we can keep that place open, because it's a wonderful venue with a brand new roof, should last another 30 years. So I had a bill for that, and it passed and got a lot of press. I think it's inexpensive way to provide a lot of services. Colleges, high schools use the Metrodome.
Right, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, so we'll catch up with you next time.
Well, great. Well, thanks.
Great.
Nice to be here.
This has been Capital Update with State Representative Bev Scalze.